you ever caught yourself wondering what's really going on behind the scenes of David Beckham's life? Well, hold on to your seats because in his new Netflix documentary, Becks spills the beans on some jaw-dropping moments from his marriage. But wait, that's not all. There's more to this story and trust me, you won't want to miss it. So buckle up because we're diving deep into the truth that David Beckham doesn't want you to know. When the premiere rolled around, Becks turned it into a family affair. Yeah, you heard it right. He hit the red carpet in London's Mayfair, and he didn't come alone. He brought the whole crew, Victoria Beckham and their 4 kiddos. Now, let's take a look at what Becks had to say about the documentary. He mentioned that it was the right time to do it, not just for himself, but also for his family to look back on and enjoy. And can you believe it? He commented about the 90s in Manchester, the amazing music scene and how Manchester United was ruling the football world. It's like a blast from the past that'll make you feel special and nostalgic all at once. But this documentary isn't just about the glitz and glamour, it's about healing too. Becks opened up about the aftermath of that infamous 1998 World Cup red card incident and how going through it in detail was pretty tough. It's all part of the healing process, he said. And when asked about Taylor Swift and her sports star beau, Travis Kelce, Becks dropped some wisdom. He said, as long as she's happy, that's the most important thing. Then he gave us a glimpse into his own love story with Victoria, 26 years and counting. They work hard at it, make time for each other, and of course, love their amazing kids. Now, who made this fantastic documentary possible? The filmmaking dream team, of course. Director Fisher Stevens and executive producer Gary Neville were in the mix. Stevens, who won an Oscar for The Cove, was tapped by none other than Leonardo DiCaprio himself, Beckham's buddy. These two had previously teamed up for a climate change documentary before the flood. Stevens mentioned that he and Becks talked about pretty much everything. He wasn't a gotcha journalist, he was a filmmaker. And speaking of Gary Neville, he chimed in too, sharing that the real Beckham comes through on the screen. It's not just about the football, it's about seeing Becks at home with his family, watching him joke around with Victoria in the kitchen, and witnessing his wardrobe perfectionism. Gary even stopped rooming with him back in the day because Becks was just too neat. You see, unlike your usual celeb story, this one is a pretty fun ride. Remember when comedian Joe Lycett put Brand Beckham in the hot seat? Yeah, he asked why Becks was repping Qatar, where LGBTQ+ rights are, well, not a thing. And the answer? Let's say it was lukewarm at best. Fast forward to this documentary, it's like a giant eraser smudging out the rough patches. But this ain't your typical football hero tale. Nope, it's got something for everyone, even if you're more posh spice than Premier League. Victoria Beckham herself, the Queen of Spice, says she never really cared for football. Now, get this. Director Fisher Stevens set the stage with a vibe that's lively and full of cheeky humor. You've got Becks in his posh countryside mansion, fussing over honey from beehives like he's Alan Partridge, or turning his kitchen into a gleaming palace. Now, this doc is about to take you through Beckham's journey from school to the big leagues. The young Becks started as a football fanatic, but he was rocking the Friendless label. Later on, he finds himself at the legendary Manchester United and guess who walks into the scene? Sir Alex Ferguson, the football wizard himself. Now here's where it gets absolutely juicy. The doc dives deep into the bromance turned complicated relationship saga. Sir Alex Ferguson, the man, the myth, the legend, steps up to the mic and spills the tea on their journey together. He's not holding back, people. He dishes out stories from their early days when they were tighter than superglue to that infamous boot incident that landed on a player's forehead. But wait, there's more. Becks opens up about Fergie, calling him a father figure and revealing the heartbreak he felt when their bond started to crumble. Now, it's not just Becks taking the spotlight in this Netflix documentary, it's a full-on family affair. First up, let's talk about Becks' dad, Ted. He's got that old-school, strict vibe, and you'll get a kick out of hearing about their dynamic. And then there's his mom, Sandra, who's got that kind of sass that can't be contained. Remember when Glenn Hoddle benched David? Sandra put him on her hit list. But wait, there's more fun. Victoria Beckham herself doesn't hold back either. Picture this, a rough football chant about her, and the lady next to her offers a polo mint. In between all of this, David opened up about those persistent cheating rumors that once swirled around their marriage, and he did lay it all out there. When these rumors hit back in 2003, it was like the whole world was against him. But what's even more surprising? At that moment, they felt like they were against each other. David admitted it was one of the toughest periods in their marriage, a time when they were put under intense scrutiny. When he moved to Spain to play for Real Madrid, it was a whirlwind. He'd left behind the club and family he'd known his whole life. But he didn't just lose his teammates and the pitch, he also lost the language and, more importantly, his family. Victoria chimed in, sharing that it felt like us against everybody else. And when they were in Spain, it didn't even feel like they had each other. That's when it got really tough. She couldn't put into words how hard it was, and they both felt like they were drowning. But here's the thing, they fought for each other, for their family, and they came out on the other side stronger than ever. In the documentary, Victoria didn't hold back either. She admitted that during that time, she began to resent David. But it wasn't because she felt unheard. It was because she chose to keep it all inside, always mindful of the focus David needed. As for David, he didn't sugarcoat the impact of those bombshell reports on him. Some days, he woke up feeling physically sick, wondering how he would face the world, the training pitch, and look like nothing was wrong. It was a rough ride, to say the least. But here's the heartwarming part. Despite all the storms they weathered, they're still together after 24 years with 4 beautiful children. Now, it's not just family drama. The Doc's got an all-star lineup of football legends. We're talking Cantona, Ronaldo Nazario, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Rio Ferdinand. They're all here, dishing out their take on Becks. Even Peter Hook makes a cameo just to tell us that footballers are the new rock stars of Manchester. And guess what? Even Anna Wintour drops by to share how her daughter was all about Posh and Becks back in the day. Oh, and don't even get me started on Gary Neville. He's a riot, especially when he goes off topic about his clubbing days at the Hacienda nightclub. Now coming through the show, we get to see what sets Becks apart is that he was a trailblazer, the first footballer to say, hey, let's dive headfirst into the world of brand sponsorships. He didn't just rule the pitch, he ruled the red carpet and magazine covers worldwide. And oh boy, did he ever. When he married a Spice Girl, they shot straight into the tabloid stratosphere. But let's rewind to the 90s, a decade of pure, unadulterated craziness. This doc takes you back in time, giving the Beckham couple the reassessment they deserve. Cause, you know, tabloids loved to have a field day with them. It's like a time machine to the 1990s, complete with all the fabulous hairstyles, sarongs, and even the infamous purple wedding outfit. But you know, Becks doesn't shy away from a thing. He's a guy who likes to be in control, even when he's spilling the beans. Remember the 1998 World Cup red card against Argentina? Yeah, that one. It led to months of hatred, threats, and abuse, and he opened up about it. And then there's the elephant in the room, those pesky tabloid rumors about extramarital affairs. They address it too, but without going into the nitty-gritty. But apart from all of this, the most interesting part is that David Beckham's social media following skyrocketed after this flick hit the screens. Yup, it's true, and the numbers don't lie. Imagine this, you've got an Academy Award-winning director, Fisher Stevens, the same guy who nailed it as Hugo, the PRC's Ball, and Succession. He's the genius behind this 4-part masterpiece that's taken us on a whirlwind tour of Becks' life, from his football glory to his 24-year love story with Victoria Beckham. The doc didn't just win our hearts, it won Beckham 500,000 new fans. Yup, you heard that right. His social media following shot up like a rocket, all thanks to this amazing documentary. But you know what? It's all in good fun. Each episode is a wild ride packed with gossipy nuggets that'll have you laughing, gasping, and cheering for him. What do you think? Do drop your views in the comment section below, and we'll be back with more exciting stuff in the coming days, so you guys better stay tuned. Until then, see ya.